How did just four men steal $100 million worth of jewelry from a Paris museum, armed with nothing but a few power tools and a blowtorch? And finally, a detailed timeline on how the police managed to capture the suspects in just 48 hours. This is the detailed timeline of the one mistake that solved the Louvre heist. Paris, October 19th, 2025. A quiet morning. The sun rose over the River Seine, reflecting off the limestone of the Louvre Museum. Inside, security staff began their usual routines. The museum opened its doors to the first wave of visitors. Nothing seemed out of place. Outside on Quai François Mitterrand, a white utility truck pulled to a slow stop. Four men stepped out. Each wore orange safety vests and white helmets, the same uniform used by Paris construction crews. To bystanders, they looked like workers. No one noticed, but the truck they arrived in was not carrying tools for maintenance. Inside were electric ladders, power grinders, a blowtorch, and a plan timed down to the second. The men exchanged a few short nods. No words. They knew the routine. At around 9:30 a.m., an electric ladder rose quietly toward a balcony of the Apollo Gallery, the hall that holds France's royal jewels. Two men climbed up with tool bags, while the other two stayed below, one keeping watch, one controlling the ladder. The first sparks came as the grinder touched reinforced glass. The sound was sharp, metallic, and brief, swallowed by the city's morning traffic. They placed a thermal blanket over the sensors to block motion and heat detection. Inside the Louvre's security control room, a red alert light flashed. A guard sighed. False alarms had been happening all week during renovation work. He silenced it. That single mistake gave the thieves a clear window of several minutes.
When the glass finally gave way, the men climbed inside. The Apollo Gallery glowed in gold. Light hit the jeweled crowns, necklaces, and emeralds that once belonged to Napoleon and Empress Eugenie. The thieves didn't stop to admire. They knew exactly where to go. They moved to two display cases, the most valuable. The grinder cut again. Glass shattered. Emeralds, diamonds, and sapphires disappeared into black bags. They ignored everything else. Every move was measured. From the Mona Lisa gallery nearby, alarms began echoing. Visitors turned their heads. A child started crying. Two guards rushed in. They saw masked men surrounded by noise, heat, and sparks. For a few seconds, they froze. The thieves turned toward them. No guns, no shouting, just steady, deliberate movements, holding running tools that looked and sounded like weapons. The guards stepped back, and the men walked out through the same window they had entered. Outside, the other two were waiting. They loaded the bags, climbed down, and split. Two jumped onto high-powered scooters. Engines roared. Within seconds, they were gone, racing along the riverbank and vanishing into the narrow streets of central Paris. Something fell to the ground as they left, a golden crown belonging to Empress Eugenie. It struck the cobblestones, scattering pearls across the street. They didn't stop. By the time museum security reached the riverside, the scooters had disappeared into traffic. The entire operation lasted less than 8 minutes. The aftermath. Inside the museum, alarms blared and confusion spread. Visitors were evacuated. Staff stood in disbelief before the shattered display cases. 8 royal jewels were missing, valued at over $100 million. The Louvre fell silent that morning. But across the city, police activity exploded. Barricades were set. Helicopters launched. The largest art theft investigation in France in over a decade had begun.